balls it up, if I can say that, like, to be honest.
But that's that
Phil,
thing, isn't it, where you've beaten Phil and you're in the final.
That's it, now I've won.
He reckons he's got it down to 4 now. 4, so he's thrown the others away. He's got 4. That's what he thinks, yeah.
400, yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Is that for night 1 alone? Is that?
Filling out auditoriums with the most exciting players in the world. I'm not saying you ain't excited because you are, but I don't mean that.
Hello and welcome to The Checkout, a new 4-part content series brought to you by AK Bet. We're going to be talking all things Premier League and some quirkier storylines as well. Alongside me, Lakeside champion Stephen Bunting.
Hello.
We have refereeing legend Russ Bray.
Hi.
And 2-time world champ Adrian Lewis.
Hello.
You all right?
Yeah,
All
good.
good. All good, yeah. Looking forward to this.
So let's start by talking about this year's Premier League lineup. What are your thoughts on the 8 players? Because fairly similar to last year. We've got a few new guys in it this time around. The 2 Lukes, Luke Humphries, world number 1 and world champion, Luke Littler, the teenage sensation, and of course Rob Cross back in the lineup as well.
Yeah, no, I think it's very strong, to be honest. Obviously, there's a lot of stigma around Luke Littler. I think he's a great addition to it, and I think he's got a good chance of doing really well on it as well. And like I say, the players that are in it are all going to put a great show on, and I'm looking forward to watching it.
Agree with what Stephen's saying? I mean, you obviously saw Luke Littler firsthand when you're up on the stage at the World Championship.
Absolutely. But Luke is as is well documented, very mature for his age. You know, he doesn't look 16, he doesn't act 16. But I still think you've got to remember, he is 16.
He's 17 now.
Oh, well, 17 now, yeah, 17
On the same day as me.
I wish you happy birthday. You never said come back.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, that's not very nice. But yeah, when you look at someone like Luke, who's now just turned 17, he's still only a kid. And he's in there amongst the big boys in what is going to be, I think, personally, one of the very best Premier Leagues that's going to be coming up. Be great to see how he handles it. I think the kid will handle it very, very well in that sense. But the Premier League isn't just about Luke Littler. Yeah. You know, this is what we sort of forgot with the World Championships. Well, you've got Luke Humphries in there and all. You know, and when you look at Luke Humphries, world number 1, world champion. I'll tell you what, it's going to be a cracker.
Yeah. Adi, what do you make of it? Because Russ saying there it could be one of the strongest lineups. I mean, you played in the Premier League, 10 times, finished runner-up once as well. You were in some, goated lineups with, Phil Taylor, Gary Anderson, you yourself. What do you make of this year's lineup?
I think it's brilliant. I think Luke Littler's been a breath of fresh air. I think, coming through the way he has done, he's started turning heads all over the world, and all I can hear is everybody talking about Luke Littler. I think he's, like I say, he's going to be a brilliant one. It really is.
It's great for our sport as well, having someone like Luke coming through. Everyone, all eyes from all different sports are all on our sport, and it can only be good for our game, can't it?
Oh, not half. I mean, it just pushes the whole concept of the darts forward. You know what I mean? And it also proves within the PDC system that the Challenge Tour, Development Tour, or Development and Challenge, and then the actual tour itself, and then the European tours, is working because look at how good everyone is in depth. You know, I mean, Luke was at 150 odd when he started.
164th in
was
the world.
Was it something like that when he started?
Worlds, yeah,
coming into the Worlds and gets to the final. So that just goes to show and gives everyone else a lot of hope within the system of, well, if he can do it, I can do it. You know, and that's what's brought the game on.
It's inspiring the young ones as well, isn't he? Like my 11-year-old lad, he's started playing darts now.
And not because of you.
Not from me, from Luke Littler. And it's, it just shows you he's never really been interested in it until Luke Littler.
It's crazy.
So it shows you, doesn't it?
It's been a process as well, because obviously he's come through, he's won the World Youth Championship. Yes. And then he's progressed, and then obviously he's got all the confidence in the world after doing that. He's going to be on the Pro Tour, so we'll see what he's all about.
I do think coming to the Pro Tour, I think this is when we'll obviously find out. The thing is, I mean, what I found, personally, was when I was playing in the Pro Tours, and then going to the Premier League, if you were losing week in, week out on the Pro Tour, it affects your confidence going into that Thursday night. Yes.
He seems like someone who's got a whole load of confidence. You must have been someone who knew about him way before, even a lot of people in darts coming from that sort of hotbed in St Helens.
Yeah, no, he's very local to me, and obviously there was a lot of people talking about him for the last few years. He's such a fantastic talent, and obviously winning the World Youth Championship, he's come to everyone's attention. And then literally what he's done in the World Championships, he had a good run, I think, in the UK Open as well.
That's right, yeah.
So yeah, he's used to the cameras now. Obviously the Premier League, you're playing in front of tens of thousands of people, so it's a bit of a different atmosphere that he may not be used to yet. But yeah, the lad's got bundles of potential, and
But like I say, I think they've got to be careful, obviously, how much he is doing.
Yeah.
Because if they start taking away from his Xbox, he might, he might start eating darts.
I was going to pick up on what you said there. The actual Premier League Pro Tour, Euro Pro Tour, is brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal. It is 24/7 darts. That will see how well he competes, how well he maintains it.
Yes.
When you turn around and said, all of a sudden you lose a game here, and then you've got to have that confidence going on to the next game. It's a tough cookie.
Yeah,
This year it's going to be great to see just how strong he is. It's.
But like I said, I'm glad he's got loads of confidence going into this. Yeah. This is a place, obviously winning Bahrain as well. He's got a lot of confidence, and
Look
that's
who
what
he beat as well.
That's it.
Bahrain,
I think this year we could see more 9 daughters in this year's Premier League than we have done.
Well, I thought I'd finish, and I've called another 9. You know what I mean? Come on, bring it on. Yeah, exactly. Very first leg. So the kid's an amazing talent. Yeah. But there's another 7 amazing talents.
Well, in terms of the rest of the lineup, then it seems like it's a really good mix, because you've got people like Michael van Gerwen, who's won it 7 times coming into this. You've got the debutants. Keep forgetting about Luke Humphries as well, who is the world champion. And then you've got people who maybe have a bit of a point to prove, like Peter Wright.
Well, I'd say, man, they said before the World Championships, watch out for people sneaking through the back door. Rob Cross. No one's mentioned Rob Cross. Rob Cross has been a world champion. Rob Cross is really
he's back to his
he
best.
is.
Yeah.
Very much so. Very much so. And of course, with Luke Humphries, full of confidence himself. I know he got picked in Bahrain, but full of confidence himself. When you look at someone like that, then I'll tell you what, he does, but it is on the back of your neck, stand up for what is going to be an amazing next 17 weeks.
And it's strange, obviously, none of us mentioned MVG yet.
We've talked about the players who are in it, but some people aren't in it. We'll start with you, mate. I mean, you were playing so well last year, in such good form, leading up to maybe before the World Championship. Did you think you were in with a shout of being in it?
Yeah, obviously the social media side of stuff and the way I've been playing, I would have loved to be in it again, but I look at the lineup, the 8, and it would have been difficult for them to leave anyone out of that. But like I said, I was knocking on the door. I need another good year this year, and hopefully I can get back in it next year.
Is that what you're thinking is then coming into this year, just like play as I've been doing, and hopefully I will be in there next time round?
Yeah, no, definitely, and although I had a good year this year, I didn't win anything. So I think the main basis for myself for this year is to win some titles and then make it impossible for them to leave me out. That's the plan.
That's the trick. That's the trick. But again, the other thing that you miss on there is that the Premier League is an exhibition of darts. It's a selection of players. Yeah. It's not whoever does this, does that, wins this, wins that. In the main, obviously your world champion will go in and probably match play and people like that.
You've got to have top 4.
You have got to have the top 4 basically in there. The other four are picks. What you want is an exciting night of darts. You don't want a dreary night of darts. And I mean that in the nicest possible way. You want it exciting, explosive. So when you've got them games on that night, everyone goes, "Oh right, can't wait for the Premier League to come on." We've got he's playing him, or any combination of the 8. It's going to be an exciting match, and that's what you want for the Premier League.
I think that was the reason why they couldn't not put Luke Littler in. He had to go in it because of just everything he brings, his explosiveness, his scoring power, his finishing, the swagger he's got. And I think it brings more eyes into the Premier League.
And if you notice as well with the players they've picked, 90% of them are really fast throwers, which is rat-a-tat-tat. Then that's the best games, in my opinion, to watch.
Of course.
Or exciting, as in Peter Wright. I mean, to be fair, Peter's not had the greatest of seasons, but he's a character. And in all honesty, the Premier League is also about putting bums on seats, filling out auditoriums with the most exciting players in the world. I'm not saying you ain't excited because you are, but and I don't mean that. And I don't mean that in any. Don't mean that in any other way, because there's an awful lot of exciting players, and it's just a matter of bringing an 8 at that given time together, and that's how they've done that. Yeah. And as I say, the Premier League's an exciting exhibition of darts. It's not a major. It's not a ranked event. No. If you know what I mean, it's just bringing the darts to the fore. Well, it is. It's a circuit to bring to the world, for the TVs around the world to see, you know, the great players.
I mean, you talk about just the excitement around the Premier League and certainly the 8 players that are involved. Who are you most looking forward to seeing? Because we're in a situation where we're going to see the same players week after week, but some of the matchups, you think about, I don't know, Van Gerwen, Price, which is what we were left with the final last year.
Fantastic. You've got Luke and Luke again, which again is another one, isn't it? Yeah. Which is a fantastic combo. Like I said, every game's exciting, and that's what we wanted to see, you know. And when you turn around and say Price and Van Gerwen, I mean, wow. I mean, even bringing in Peter Wright, you know, Peter Wright and whoever he plays, there's just excitement in every game.
What darts is he going to use?
Yeah, well,
I mean, that could be a topic all on itself.
Yeah. What one's he going to use? The gold ones, the black ones, the fat ones, the thin ones, you know, yeah. He reckons he's got it down to 4 now. 4, so he's thrown the others away, he's got 4. That's what he thinks, yeah.
400, yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Is that for night 1 alone as well?
That's in the first two legs, yeah.
I think as well, obviously, with Luke Littler just losing to Luke Humphries in the final, and then obviously beating Van Gerwen, there's a few grudge matches there as well that's starting to reveal. So, like
you guys obviously know Michael Van Gerwen pretty well. How much would he have hated losing that final in Bahrain to Luke Littler?
See what he said in an interview. I'll get him.
Yeah, I'll
get him. I mean, you know, whether that's playing with his head or whatever, I don't know. But Van Gerwen was very much like Phil Taylor in that sense, in as much as that when you become a wounded tiger, that's when you're the most dangerous. Yeah. And Taylor was very much that, and Michael Van Gerwen, I think, is very much that style of player. He's hates losing, good loser, but hates losing. Yeah. And he shows that, and rightly so. I mean, if no winners are good losers. Yeah. And in any sport, whatever way round you look at it, and even more so in air game, especially when it's one-on-one.
Yeah, no, you're right.
You see the emotion as well, don't you, from Michael? Win or lose, he's always very emotional.
He is, yeah.
I think, obviously, more than ever now, it means that much to him. So he definitely won't want to lose to Luke again. I think I'm looking forward to that match, to be honest.
I think, like you say, MVZ will be after him there. Yeah,
very
definitely.
Very much so.
But what I think also as well, with Luke Littler's age, sorry we're going back on about Luke again, but with his age, you know, he's going to be a lot more fresher coming to the back end. You know, if he can get there and push on, more points he's going to pick up.
And there's not much scars. He's not.
No, that's right. He hasn't got any scars yet. No.
Yeah, he's
17. He's got no fear either, has he? There's no fear factor.
But I think
he hasn't gone through that stage.
He's on that crest of a wave, isn't he?
Right.
But I think Luke Humphries will definitely be up there. You know.
Oh, 100%.
So do I. I'd be honest here. Last year, I tipped Smithy to win it before the World Championship started, and he won it. And this year, 2024, I tipped Humphries to win it, and he won it. Don't ask me to tip
at the beginning of the year.
That's
you now. You've got to now predict a World Champion.
What, for next year?
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
I'll do that a little bit later on. I'll do it a little bit later on in the year. But that was, honestly, September time, on both of those occasions, Johnny Mack could tell it, I predicted both the winners. So it just see how the season goes. As I say, you know, you can't rule out any of these 8. You can't rule out any of these 8 from winning the World Championship.
Usual suspects.
Yeah, they're the usuals. With a few thrown in there. I mean, Chris Toby was unlucky not to get in.
Fantastic.
Ross Smith, unlucky not to get in. Or they're Joe Cullen. Yeah. You know, these guys are right up there. And these guys can win a world title. You know, so it's great, isn't it?
Okay, so heading into the Premier League, before a dart has even been thrown, the 2 favourites are the 2 debutants, Luke Humphries and Luke Littler. Does that surprise you at all?
No, it definitely doesn't surprise me. Obviously, off the form that they've showed, Luke Humphries has got to be favourite for me. Just after the World Championship win, such a great season he's had, to be fair, and yeah, I can't really see past him, to be honest. He's devastating, but in the same context, Luke Littler, the new kid on the block, playing absolutely fantastic darts. He's one for the future, definitely, and he could win it, who knows?
Yeah. But that's the thing, when you watch Luke Littler play, you go, I can't see you being beaten at this point. Like.
The thing is, with the Premier League as well, it's a sprint. It's not a long format. And I think, personally, over a short format like that, I think MVG will be the one to beat his third favourite, I think the guys were saying. And I think MVG, over a short format, which
he knows how to do it, doesn't he?
Well, he's been there,
yeah.
you know, he's got the experience and everything else. And that is why I think MVG over the two Lukes. Plus, like we touched on earlier on, the different venues that you're at. Now, Michael is used to being up in Scotland or over in Wales or in Ireland, in the UK, in England, in his home country. He's used to that. The other guys are not. And that's another factor that he can block out.
They're huge
which
venues
you would know
as well,
the experience on that.
Obviously, the Premier League crowds are totally different to anything else. So obviously, the noise levels are, raise the roof, and it's very hard to keep your concentration going.
MVG always has his pocket of support on him as well.
Yeah.
With the
that's another thing as well. Obviously, throughout the years, he's been going to all these different venues year in, year out. And now it's, he's obviously got the followers.
He's going to be second walkout. So when you're stood on that stage and his music is booming around the venue, it's so
goes green.
Yeah, you haven't got to just beat MVG, you've got to beat the crowd as well half the time.
It's an army, isn't it? It's an army of MVG fans.
And like you said, it's a sprint in terms of, you're talking about the format, obviously, but ultimately you've got to put in enough performances week after week after week. You know better than anyone. It's about making it to finals, right? And then actually performing on finals.
Yeah, the consistency and try not, let your confidence get, if you're getting beat, try, keep strong and just think, right, come on now, if we can pick up a couple of points this week and see how we go from there and just keep building on what you're achieving.
It's kind of the beauty of the format, isn't it? Because if you win a week, you've suddenly got 5 points and then you're back in the mix.
That's right, you're back in the mix. But the thing is, Adrian said there, the following day they're going to be travelling to Germany or somewhere like that for the Euro Pro Tour. Get turned over on the first day of that, and then you're back on the Wednesday to whatever Premier League you're at. So it's so full on. Whether I'm sure Luke Humphries will be up for it. I'm sure he will. Luke Littler, it's going to be absolutely everything new to him, and it's going to be, I think that's where it comes down to experience. I'm not saying they ain't going to do well, but
you might even see a few of them not playing some of the Pro Tour events
exactly.
just to try and keep themselves fresh for the Premier League, to be honest. And I can totally understand.
I can understand that, but the Pro Tours they need for the ranking, for the Europeans to get in the European Championships, money on the money list. So it's a devil in the deep blue sea.
I think you've got to do a few Pro Tours. I don't think you have to. I mean, obviously, with regards to Luke Littler, he's not defending anything.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I think he can pick and choose a bit more than obviously a few of the others like Peter Wright and so on.
What about dark horses then? Because we've talked about Van Gogh and we've talked about the two Lukes. We've not really talked about Peter Wright, who's not been in the kind of form he would want to be in for, probably the best part of 12 months now. We've not really talked about Rob Cross. You said he's sort of flying under the radar a little bit. You've got Nathan in there.
Yeah, I think Rob Cross is a bit of a dark horse, to be honest. I think obviously just the form he showed, he's always at the back end of the tournaments, the last few TV tournaments, and he's playing some of the best darts I've seen him over the last few years, so he's definitely put himself back in the mix. He's always dangerous now, and it'll be really good to watch the Premier League, to be honest. But I'm really looking forward to watching, obviously, the two Lukes and MVG. But who knows? Rob could come through the back door, like you said.
I tell you what's amazing. Who else I mentioned? Michael Smith.
Well, yeah.
I mean, jeepers, goodness me, we haven't even touched on Michael Smith. So you've got Michael Smith, Rob Cross, we haven't touched on.
Going Price, by the way.
Going Price is in there and all.
I was going to say, guys,
Do we actually know who's in this?
So when you look at someone like Michael Smith, when you talk about dark horses, I mean, I mentioned Rob Cross, he was, how he snuck up under the radar at the World Championships, gets to the semi-finals. No one has spoken about him. Michael Smith can get up there and he can blitz anybody over that short format. Over that, he can blitz. Well, he can do it over a long one. He's proved it. But on a short wallop like that, first to 8, is it? Something like that.
Six.
First to six. Oh goodness me. I know. Pop, pop, bang. You know, if you've got to throw in the first leg, you win the first one, break the second, win your third, you're 3-0 up. You're halfway there, and that's huge
correct.
at that sort of level, isn't it?
I think the big thing as well, obviously, with us not talking about him, the pressure's off them sort of players.
Yes.
So obviously everyone's talking about the two Lukes. The pressure on them,
Correct,
is
nice?
huge.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So obviously the likes of a Rob Cross, who we're not talking about, or a Mike Smith, even Gerwin Price, the pressure's off.
Yeah.
They can just go and enjoy the
And
Premier
I
League.
think that's where they'll flourish a bit more, especially Michael Smith, obviously, being world champion last year. You didn't have the bestest of years. So now we can try relax a little bit more and sort of enjoy it again now.
Talk about pressure being off certain players, the likes of Michael Smith. For someone like Gerwin Price, does he like the pressure being off him? Because he strikes me as someone who wants to be talked about a lot.
Yeah, I think he probably does. I think he probably would.
He does, though, doesn't he? Same with Van Gerwen.
All want to be in the limelight, don't they?
I think he probably will enjoy the pressure being off him, to be honest. Obviously, he's had a few really good years, and he won the Worlds a few years ago. But when you're in the limelight all the time, there's so much pressure on you don't realise. Obviously, the people on the outside looking in, they don't see that. So even when you're at home and you're away from all of that, you still put that much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, you're still always thinking about the game all the time, seeing where I can improve and trying different things all the time. You never switch off from it, never.
I wonder if he is someone who's got a bit of a point to prove, because we were obviously part of the Premier League last year. Gerwin Price, going into finals night, was the favourite. And then he kind of just got sort of washed away by Michael Van Gerwen in the final.
He did, and that's what I turned and said Michael Van Gerwen in the first instance, because Michael Van Gerwen's main aim is getting the top four.
Yes.
That's his main aim. Yeah. He's not worried about winning it. All right, they get extra dollars if they do, but he's not worried about winning it.
Not now.
No. His main aim is getting that top four. Once you're in the top four, then to be honest, then it's anybody's game. Then it's anybody's game.
To be fair, you could say that about them all, couldn't you? They all
Of course.
But as in, you've been in that position before, where you've made it to finals night, you've beaten Phil Taylor in a semi-final, then gone on and lost in a final.
Yeah, it's like I say, I mean, I balls it up if I can say that, like, to be honest.
But that's that
Phil,
thing, isn't it? Where you've beaten Phil and you're in the final.
That's it. Now I've won it, and then as soon as I've done that, I've just gone bump out. Rubbish.
Mardle done that in the World Championship.
Correct, yeah.
He done
We've
Phil,
done
and then
that in a World Championship. A lot of players have done that in a World
That's it. Now
Championship.
I've won it, and obviously it doesn't work like that.
I feel like you've all touched on every single player, but if you were pushed now for your top four, the four that are going to make it to playoffs night at the O2, who are you going for?
Humphries, MVG. I'm going to say Luke Littler, and I'm going to say Rob Cross.
Okay.
As MVG,
Yeah.
I'm going to go Humphries, Littler, and Price.
Yeah, I feel like Price has got to be in
That's
there.
what I was going to go. Oh yeah, I was going to go for exactly the same. Yeah.
You've still all picked the two Lukes then, who are there on their debut.
Yeah.
You feel like you've got to have the world
Well,
champion,
the
but
kids,
also
are,
the kids,
are on form.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I mean, we're going about Luke Littler being 17 or 16 when he was playing, 17 now.
Yeah.
Look, Humphries is only 28, 29.
Yeah.
So he's still only a baby. Exactly. I know.
He feels like he's been around.
Exactly.
ages.
I know, but he's still only a kid, you know.
Our sport's in good hands, isn't it? It's definitely in good hands.
Oh, is it ever? When you look at what's coming through, young lad just got his tour card late minute.
Yeah.
You know, he's only a kid. He ain't, I think he's about 20, and he's just like 8 and 19 or whatever he is. Fabulous player, a good few years back, and hopefully, he can develop now and get upwards and onwards. So the game itself is really now very much a young man's sport, and that's the beauty of this.
That's why I still played.
That's what I've backed. That's why I've backed up.
No, there is still room for you to keep playing.
Exactly, you're still a baby.
Yeah, thanks for all the thoughts, guys. And let us know what you think as well. And make sure you are following all of the AK Bet social channels. And write your comments. Let us know if you agree with the guys. And we'll see you soon.